Anti-Afro, Svengalis. I just had to chime in on this situation involving Fani Willis, the embarrassing, disastrous disgrace, the DA, Fulton County, Georgia, who submitted this probation revocation petition against Young Thug. Legal name is Jeffrey Williams. Now, before I get into this commentary, I don't want to ignore or let anyone think I'm ignoring the victimization aspect of this whole scenario. I put up a video addressing that. Specifically, people were threatened. That is never to be taken lightly, and I'm not taking it lightly. But in this video, I am focusing on the motivation end of things, where Young Thug was accused of making all these threats to a DA investigator. You see her face is covered because of the angle of this video. I'm going to go ahead and do that, okay, because she is a victim. In this particular video, Fani Willis is in the role as the DA who submitted this petition. I very strongly believe that she submitted this petition believing she was going to get somewhere, specifically because the victim is white, namely a white female. It was her aha moment, because you have the white female who's threatened and her family. You have a white female judge. She really thought she was going to get this black man sent up the river. Yeah, this is it. You're threatening a white woman. Now, I couldn't get you locked up for doing what you did to a bunch of black folks. Now, let's face it, he pled guilty. He took the plea. He's guilty. I'm not going to sit here and say, well, he's not guilty. He just pled guilty because of, no. He pled guilty because he's guilty. That's what he stated, and that's what I'm going with. Now he's serving his time on probation. He has a balance of 20 years after time served. He struck the deal. He struck the deal. It is what it is. So she wants to hold him responsible for what happened on social media as far as him reposting a tweet that someone else typed. But she was so desperate to get this brother sent up the river and was really banking on the fact that if I get him, I can get him because he's threatening a white woman. I mean, in her brain, this is what she thought was going to be the trigger point because there's a white judge on the bench handling this case. Now, what I also don't think Fani Willis recalled was that judge got ahead of the game and made a point to say, if there's anything going on with this case, such as probation violations, that's to come to me. I think that Fani Willis was thinking she can get another judge to weigh in on this, that was going to pull the trigger, someone that she knew. Because if you listen to any part of that case, you would have seen how disorganized things were. The lack of communication. I seriously doubt that Fani Willis was aware that this judge said anything involving this case is to come to me. So I think she submitted this probation revocation petition not knowing that the judge who heard the case was going to say, I'm going to look into this myself. I'm not going to have the judge hearing probation violations that day weigh in on this. Because that does happen sometimes, although it's supposed to go to the original judge. She made a point to say, I want to hear this, which means if she's on a brief vacation and you're not going to run into any sort of constitutional issues, they can delay the hearing. If you absolutely, in the interest of a client's constitutional rights, need to have the case heard by someone else and they're unwilling to waive his rights, then of course, but I don't think that's going to happen. She did it because she thought he was going to be sent up the river for threatening a white woman. and it did not work. She didn't care that he actually didn't commit any crime. She's going to take advantage of what she knows is a hot button issue. We are down south, folks. She thought she was going to get somewhere with this. You scaring the white woman. You know what happens with that when you're scaring the white woman and you're a black man. It failed. It didn't work. And this is such a disgrace, the nerve of her to think she can dictate every single thing that happens, any and everywhere, or she doesn't have to listen to what anybody else says. I'm going to get this done. I'm going to have my way. People are going to listen to me. And she was so pissed that things didn't go her way in this trial, wasting all that money. And here she is wasting even more money. Wasting all this money on what? Nothing. She's going for the target that she wasn't able to pin down, and she's using this white woman as a pawn in order to see if she can accomplish the task where she failed. And she failed miserably. She's such an embarrassing, disastrous disgrace. All the garbage that she has, all that dirty laundry. I mean, who was the person that went up to Fani Willis and told her she was the shit to the point she really believed she can take down a president? I don't even care what president it is, any president. It wouldn't have mattered what president we're talking about. Somebody gassed her up and had her thinking she could do anything. She was going to be the one to take down a president of the United States with all that baggage that she had. And I'm convinced to this day, nobody will convince me otherwise. I think the people that approached her were perpetrating as Democrats, hardliners. And I don't think they were Democratic hardliners. I think she was set up by actual Trump supporters and gaslighted into thinking she could do something. And she snapped the bait. And those who approached her knew good and damn well about the garbage in her past and present, that she was knocking boots with the dude she hired to take down Trump. They knew all of it. And she snapped the bait, and she believed in the garbage they were telling her, that you can take down the president of the United States. You can take down Donald Trump. You can do that. They're stealing an election. Let's say it's true. Let's say it was all true, that he was trying to steal an election. This would not be the person to go after any president with all of that nasty garbage piled high in her own life. And it's not just about having an affair with someone that she hired to take down Donald Trump. All this other garbage that was going on, that she's trying so hard to keep from spilling completely out into the open. That's why she's running from that subpoena. She can only run for so long. If you're going to go after somebody and you're going to challenge them and call them all kinds of amoral and liars and thieves and cheats and all, she's up here talking about somebody like she's as pure as a driven snow, that she's a choir girl, that she's so innocent. No one's perfect, but golly, geez, this would be the last person on earth who could think she has a reputation so solid and respectable that she could take down a president. And again, I don't give a damn about the Donald Trump aspect. I'm talking about any president. Ain't her. All that nasty garbage, all that trash, all that refuge she has swimming around her. And now she's running from the subpoena still, while she's jetting off on all these trips with the dude that she hired and was screwing around with. You can take all these vacations with the dude that you're screwing still, pardon the French, but you can't come and testify. Listen, folks, she doesn't want to go and testify because she knows she's going to be confronted with lies after lies, after lies, after lies, after lies. She knows that. It is only a matter of time. Them white folks are not going to let it go. She tried to make a fool out of so many of these white folks thinking she's going to run them. And I hate to say it, folks, but I'm going to say it. What they're telling her, hey, ninja, you are not in your place. You thought you were going to run us. We're going to show you who really is running the show. Trust and believe it ain't no Fani Willis, and it never was. Everything that she thought she had, they have taken it away. She no longer is able to even prosecute the case, which is, people, come on, it was selective enforcement. All across the nation, we've seen this throughout history. They pick and choose who they want to file charges against. We know that. That's why it's better to just keep your nose clean. Even a slight misstep can be misinterpreted. Again, it could have been any president she was trying to take down. She doesn't have the reputation and character to do that, but she allowed people to gas her up. So now she's going back to where she thinks she has power. I'll pick on some other black folks, and I'll just put the white woman up here so I know I'll get this. You got a white judge, a white victim. I can't go wrong. And she was slapped down again. Be sure you catch the other video, because I want to go into the victimization aspect of this whole situation and talk about what really is a probation violation. Will the real probation violator please stand up? Folks, you know I got more coming your way, always and forever. Never forget to heed the warning. Buyer beware.